Just be patient, look where the edges are that we need to paint, make sure we get the paint everywhere it needs to be. And that will be it. And we'll leave that bit there. This one now, not quite sure as to whether or not to do this the same colour or to do, I'm not going to do it the same colour. I'm going to do the trousers this time in this colour, and again we have an issue with the paint not sticking, which to me would imply that it's not been terribly well primed. I know that from days gone by when I used to paint a lot more simply. I didn't prime, I just painted straight onto the model. Without knowing properly, you know. I didn't know you're supposed to prime minis first, because I didn't know there was such a thing. And then, thanks to YouTube and watching various channels, I've picked up a lot of information. And found out that you're supposed to not just prime your minis, wash them first, and you know, it all seems common sense now. It's what I should have been doing, I know that, but you know, all I wanted to do was just colour them in. I wasn't interested in, and I'm still really not making, you know, top-notch display pieces. I'm just looking at painting the minis, but you know, I just thought, nah, it's just too much time and effort wasted having to go over the same thing time and time again just for the sake of putting a thin layer down. Just slap the paint on. But you know, you'll learn as time goes on, and my minis are being painted better and better, in my opinion. I'm doing a much better job now than I was doing a number of years ago. Looks like this is some form of what am I doing here? I'm painting the wrong thing. No, that's like, it's like a leg protector. So I'm not going to go over all of that. Here we are. So that's that bit done. I'm going to go back into the other colour we mixed, and I'm going to paint this bit here in that, and again the paint doesn't seem to be wanting to stick. Now this is quite a good experiment, showing you exactly my thoughts on the subject of this pre-primed malarkey, and you can make your judgments then as to whether or not you'd like to throw it on or ignore it. Trying to work out whether that, I'm going to do it all as one piece. Not quite. Haven't quite worked out whether or not this collar is attached to that part of the jacket or the pads, or like the shoulder pad things I'm painting. And again, I'm not really too fussed if I go over the area that I've just painted with this, because I've just noticed areas where I really need to touch up again with it. So because of this lack of consistency with the priming, it's not gone the way, it's not covering rather the way it would be if I was, like, that colour should be the darker colour. I just realised that now, so I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to go over this part here with this colour as well. Just because I can, no other reason. I've made a decision and that's what I'm sticking with. I think that bit as well should be the Rakarth flesh, so I'll go back into the Rakarth flesh. We didn't put any on the palette. I'll put that down there. It is a damp brush, so it is the paint is thinned. It's not completely thick as it would be out straight out of the pot. And there we go. And that's that. I'm now going back into the darker brown colour that we mixed for the coat in order to touch up areas that need to be touched up. So I'm going over this collar. And it might have been a little bit too early to do this part. Oh well, never mind. I'm trying to stay in the light. I just realised as well I haven't got my light on my head loop lit, so that might be one of the reasons why I'm finding a little bit of trouble trying to find that's that done. Now where was the area? There we are, under the arm. That's the bit I was looking for, which didn't seem to colour, as well as these parts here. As I said, there's overall it's not a bad miniature, but it does need a proper priming, so it will take a little bit of work to, that's the word I'm looking for, to mask off the clear bit so you don't prime that as well. Unless of course you want to prime that and paint it a solid colour. I don't want to do that with this mini. So that's why I'm not doing. I want to try just washing those, just for a change. I've never done that before. So That's why I'm doing this. Next we're going to go into another brown colour, Doombull Brown. I've been watching Mythic Battles painting videos. You know I like this colour. And pop it on there, and we'll get this one, and this fella's coat is going to be the Doombull Brown. As I say, I'm not do with a slightly bigger brush for this part. That's what I'm looking for. As I say, I'm not done anything at all to this model other than start painting, because it said on the thing that it was ready for painting straight out of the thing, out of the pack. So if it's not looking, as you see, it's as you see go on, if it's not looking as though it's sticking, it's because of the prime that's already on it. It hasn't been applied properly, in my opinion. Now that has its own coloured edge. So I'm not going to be painting the edge of the coat because it's got a little coloured rim. I'm going to just rinse that out and go back to my smaller brush now. I do need to wait until that dries a little bit before I can come back and give it a second coat, because it is going to need one. But we're just now painting the base coat, blocking in the colour that we need to block in for this miniature. You can see my taste in clothing is black. It's dark, even though the top that I'm wearing at the moment isn't black, it's a dark colour. Usually when you see me painting minis, I go for a lot different colours, because to be honest with you, I don't like painting in black. Even when I'm painting pictures, it's very rare you see me paint one that contains a strong black thing, because if there's an object in there that's a silhouette, then I can't help that, but it's never just a plain black paint that I use. I'm putting colours into it so that it takes it off, because a black image in a painting anywhere can actually kill the painting. It just deadens it completely. It just takes all the life out of the image. For me anyway, it just stands out and doesn't look nice. So I think you need to be a better painter than I am to make black look good. And so that is something I haven't as yet felt as though I've achieved. So I try to keep away from painting in just pure black. I may do little areas that can't really be seen properly, in black. Even with her I tend to do browns. Occasionally I'll do black her and then highlight it up to make it look slightly grayer. But I don't tend to use black a great deal. I keep it as just like an accent colour. So it's the in addition to something, if you get me drift. That's right, I tend to use very, very dark colours rather than mix black into the colours. I mean, with certain things like when I'm painting pictures and I'm painting a silhouette of something, then there's absolutely no way I can avoid black because that's the silhouette. But saying that, the way I paint it, have I just said this? I don't know, I can't remember. I'm a bit wound up today, but I need to paint these today for tomorrow. But as you've seen from the video that I just put up before I started painting these, I'm having issues with my internet connection, so this won't be put up very, very soon, I don't think. But today is the 19th of February 2018, just for anybody who is trying to work out the timeline of what's happening. Yeah, so if you're doing silhouettes in paintings, I'm going back to the topic I was talking about because, yeah, it's better sticking with the topic. I'll go off on a tangent so I don't forget myself. Yeah, if I'm painting a silhouette or something, then I would actually mix different colours to make a very dark grey rather than use black, because it has a little more richness of colour doing it that way. If you just use a plain black, then it's just very flat. So there we are. Spider's tip of the day: if you want to paint something black, a large area black, don't use a black paint. Mix colours so that you have a black shade, and it doesn't have to be black. It can be incredibly dark blue, incredibly dark grey, incredibly dark red. As long as you're seeing something other than black in it, it will look a lot better. Yeah. Like I say, I've tried painting things that have black in them, and they've not done anything for me. And even when I'm painting something like minis, and it's been something that I've wanted to paint black, I find highlighting it incredibly difficult to make it look properly black. I don't know why that is, because I don't seem to have a problem with anything else. A standard rule of thumb: a good highlight for black is blue, a good shadow for white is blue. But for some reason I just can't seem to get the hang of highlighting black, which is why you don't see me paint a lot of things in black. There we are. A long-winded way of explaining one of my little foibles. Right, so that's both coats done. There's been two different coats, as you can see. Now what can we do? Trousers. I think we can do his trousers and this one in this colour. In fact, not do it just in that colour. I'll put a little bit of that colour down here and add in some of the skin colour to make it slightly different. Let's even pop in a bit of that as well. Yeah. And that's his trousers here. Okay, that's that. I'm trying to make a point of finding out where I need to paint to make it look like what I want it to look like. There we go. So that goes in there like so. So the head part is trying to get behind this clear fire thing that he has around him. Makes it very, very difficult to paint this mini, unfortunately, because it is a lovely looking mini. I like the mini, but I think it really should have been stuck with what do you call it? I don't know why I just washed my brush to go back into the same colour again, but oh well. With this, on this character, I'm going to do the, on this mini rather, not this character, because it's the same character. I'm going to do the almost like leather straps that go around his coat, holding all his little bits and pieces. You can see again we're having trouble in a few places trying to get the plate paint to stick. But you know, keep persevering. The belt around his waist, and that is going to be, I'm going to keep that as the same colour as his coat because I'm assuming that it is attached to his coat, so it will be the same material and the same colour. Although sometimes you can get like a red coat with a black belt or whatever. I'm not going to keep it that way. I'm going back to black again. So that is that colour done. Again, I may need to come back and give it another coat, but I doubt it, because once we've got a wash on this, it should be fine. Do we need anything else done with that? Just making sure we've got everywhere that needs to be done.